Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. That's right. It's time for Sarcastic Distractions, the interesting podcast for interesting people. Featuring, as always, the Gentleman Society of Podcasting. Myself, Harvey. My heterosexual life mate, David.
Yellow.
The ever-loving, ever-ruling AJ.
I shot the sheriff,
But he did not shoot the deputy. But you did shoot the deputy. I watched you.
I didn't. It wasn't me.
No, he stabbed him.
He stabbed him.
Stabbed the deputy, shot the sheriff, and did a little dance.
Okay, that's fair. My bad. It was out of like my purview. I just saw I just saw the deputy go down.
Peripheral vision. You saw
it's somewhat related to what we're about to talk about.
It's actually quite well, not really, but kind of not really. What we are talking about today are odd city rules, bylaws, things
bylaws.
like that.
City though, like
city.
Let's keep it in that city concept. Because I have to admit that's where my head was at. It was like city bylaws, because we just had our lovely local election. I'm sure everybody participated and voted appropriately. Based on their research.
25% of all Londoners voted, I think. That's crazy.
It was funny is I did vote out of whom I voted for. Only one of the education-y people.
Oh my God, that
everybody
else
lost.
Oh my word!
I voted for Ingham.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that was interesting.
It's like a normal thing. Everybody complains about municipal, at least in our region. Oh, people are not coming out. Yeah, no, because it comes down to that. And I mean it lovingly, even though we're going to get into some fun. What does the city council do?
Great question.
What
does the city? Yeah, but on what?
It's a council of people for the city.
Thanks,
That's actually a very good description. Thank you, AJ. Quite nice.
Perfect.
Quite nice. You should really be joining in to help get young people out to properly vote. Pretty much with that alone.
Vote or die, motherfucker.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just, and I'm not trying to undercut, because there are some things they do have very clear-cut control over. Like, they do have, parking rules. They, how they're going to handle homeless people in the region.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah,
and there are things they do have control over.
I guess we're not talking about those. They're the dickheads who have control over construction.
Well,
we're not talking about that.
Yeah, they do have a certain aspect of noise times, things like that.
Yeah,
noise bylaw.
Times.
And again, the one that made, and again, can't really explain why this popped in my head, but I think it was a screensaver. Things like fireworks.
Yeah. Go on. What is their bylaw in London?
Oh, in London, it's just you're allowed to do it on those 2 days.
Yeah, what is it? Labor Day and... it's Canada Day and Victoria Day.
Yeah, Victoria.
So really, May and July, you're allowed 1 day to set off fireworks.
Yes.
And you don't have to have a license or anything. You just do that.
Correct.
And that's the only time that they're sold, correct?
Previous. I think there's some rules around like a week before or something.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, you're not going to find like any sort of permanent fireworks shops or anything like that.
No. I think they sell them on like May 2-4 and stuff like that too.
Yeah. Plus, that will be the other time they can.
Is that the other time?
Yeah.
That's a Victoria Day.
Victoria Day.
I don't know.
Nowadays, it's May 2 for more often.
I don't know who Vicky is.
I thought Labor Day too, but you're right.
No, not Labor Day.
No.
Yeah. But here's the thing that
Arbor
I still
Day?
am a bit interested on, because this, to me, that's one of those things where actually I kind of agree that the city should make those choices for themselves. Because the big fight right now here in London is that there's a lot of people pushing to say, get rid of it. Do not allow any firework executions in your backyard.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with that.
Well, no, and that's fine.
I don't know.
Because I do actually understand some of it. Yeah.
I get it, but...
It's 2 days. That's my big thing. But I do understand, like, the noise.
Noise, it takes a spark to cause fire.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
But, like, how many times do we hear of, like, firework accidents? I know that's not...
Well, no,
it
is
measure, but I don't feel like we hear that often.
To be honest,
more often, like I blew my hand off with fire.
Yeah.
I know a guy that did that. Technically, it wasn't a firework, though, in my defense. But
same materials.
Same material.
Yeah. No.
What I would do if I was in charge, or when I become in charge, to be honest,
when are you running?
I would still allow it to be on those 2 days. But I would actually make it that it's we have designated areas in the communities. Like a lot of the parks, school grounds have wide open spaces. It's safe. And the nice thing is, as the city perspective, it also means that you can get the community technically together.
Yeah, I see where you're going, and I think a lot of communities kind of sort of do that a little bit. Even mine, like I live in I live in
London.
But I don't
in London.
But I don't live in like any townhouses or cul-de-sacs. It's like I just live in city streets, and there's like a abandoned kind of church parking lot.
Yeah,
that is secluded. I don't know, it's secluded, but open to everybody, and that's where they usually do like a fireworks display.
Oh yeah, well, same around me. Well, not same, but similar in the sense that we have the school by there, and it's the general unwritten. Everybody brings it together, and they have to do it. But to me, if we made it a bit more official in the city, the reason why I say it would be nice is you take out any potential risk to neighbor or safety, those sort of things, and you maybe can build a little bit of more community, a little bit more. Hey, fire them off, set them off.
And then make it an event sort of thing.
And then you get little things like food truck, shit like that.
I'm down for that, but what I want them to do if they're going to do such a thing,
you're making it like a carnival.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to do that, I want it more than
turning it into a thing.
I want at least one more day a year.
People don't want to go to places.
Sure.
Yeah, seriously, at least 3 days a year we can do that.
No, kids when they're younger, and it does depend on the kid, because Curtis when he was young hated them. Now that he's older, he loves them. It's one of those things where it gives them a good opportunity to run around with friends, do things like that's what I'm going to do once I become mayor of London.
Hell yeah, I'd vote for you.
Sweet.
You're going to run on the entire fireworks?
Did you see the number of people that actually ran? It's kind of funny.
You probably could have made it this year. Holy shit.
No, I can't remember the person's name, but it's the guy that pretty much promised to do a whole lot of nothing.
I feel like it's Josh Morgan. Is it Josh Morgan?
It sounds right, actually.
I can't remember who it is now. But
yeah.
I thought it was some lady.
No, not from mayor.
I don't think so. Not in London.
I did vote for the lady that was in my particular region, but she didn't win either.
We're such great public constituents.
Oh yeah. Hey, I will do one of those Davisms where, hey, I went on a vote, so I can bitch about anybody that happens to be there.
That's true.
That's my rule.
Yep.
But I will freely also admit that I got home, went, oh shit, it's voters day, went online, started reading their policies. If they had nothing online about their policy, that was a no for me. And if they had things online about their policy and I agreed, okay, then that's whom I voted for.
Amazing.
So that is how I voted.
I'm sure you're not alone. I think the majority of people did that. Yeah, for sure. Like, what the fuck
what I would have done had I cared.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird.
I don't know.
Well, I have heard, and I don't remember where, that I have this recollection of there once being that whole discussion about getting rid of city mayors.
Yeah.
And just making it all provincial. Again, it's one of those.
Well, here's sorry, go ahead. I don't want to.
I don't have really an opinion, I don't think.
I
should.
Provincial how? Because it doesn't make sense to have somebody who doesn't live in the area try to govern the area.
Well, no, but we make all the rules just generic within provincial guidelines. So what's something that you think is very local?
City pools. Those are very local.
Okay, but
dog parks?
What rules would you think would be different between city pools and dog parks? We shouldn't put them together. I'm pretty sure that'd be a consistent rule.
No, it would be a dog pool. Yeah, dog pool.
But that's what I get into in my head. I have to admit, to a certain extent, what rules would there be different across cities in Ontario?
That's a good point, because you still have to abide by safety and standards and things like that.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's one of those,
Yeah.
And again, and I mean this nicely, if we took out the city perspective, made it all provincial,
I guess
we might save a buck or two.
A lot of bylaws are general.
Yeah.
They're common sense. They're logical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could have your universal ones like no smoking X amount of feet in front of doors, just all across the board. That's it. In
I'm
Ontario,
pretty sure that one is provincial.
Is that a provincial bylaw?
I'm pretty sure that one's provincial.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, that is one thing I think.
But I get your point, because there's there isn't one dog park that's like don't pick up your poop, and then there's one that is pick up your poop. Like,
right.
Like it's just kind of common.
Yeah, it's just common. Yeah. So I have to admit now. One could make a good argument, though it's changing. I shouldn't say unfortunately, but it's changing, which is certain cities would have certain things happen in them that others don't have to deal with. Like, I have a suspicion, I truly don't know, St. Mary's probably does not have the same challenge with homeless today like London does, and certainly like Toronto and the largers. So
yeah, I hear you.
That's where having more regionalized people is probably better.
I'm thinking about Owen Sound. And you don't see too many homeless people
right
on the streets.
I don't know. I feel like now homeless people everywhere.
I think they are a lot more than
But
they used to be.
to your point, they're
Oh,
probably
no.
yeah.
No, they are. Because like it's one of those, and I mean it in that sort of nice way. Like there were homeless people, 20 years ago, yes.
Sure.
But they were always downtown or by the river here in London. Nowadays, like seeing a homeless person down in South London by where I live, okay, I'm not surprised.
No.
It's not surprising to see them anywhere.
Yeah. I have now seen, and I mean, I've lived in this city for the majority of my life. I've traveled to several different countries, spending significant time in 2 of them. And in less than 6 months, I have seen 2 fully naked homeless women on the streets.
Yeah, I saw naked homeless the other day on Wellington and York.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a right spot.
Yeah. So I mean, something is changing. Not their clothes. They don't need to wear the clothes apparently at that time. But
yeah,
something's changing to the point where, homeless are becoming more prevalent.
Oh, especially downtown here in London.
Especially downtown here in London.
It's I think part of it is I wouldn't say they're allowing, but they're quote unquote allowing them to do their tent thing. And
no, they broke one up actually.
Yeah, they just broke up.
I think it depends on where it is.
The challenge is,
I think if it's not obtrusive and it's not in the way of things, then they're not busting them up.
Well, and I do hope, I have to admit, because I am one of those people that, like, there's parking lots by the Free Press building where it used to be, things like that. Like,
I think that's the place that they're not telling them to fuck off from, is like places like that. Because that's also near the men's mission.
Yeah, exactly. Like, to me, those are decent spots. Like, great, no. Yeah. It's going to suck in winter because they cut down all the trees and bush that used to be there. But
my thing is this, with breaking up homeless encampments, and we'll get back to bylaws and shit in a second.
Well, no, it's part of the bylaw.
It is. Because we just in BC, Vancouver just had that big breakup on Hastings Street, whatever they're.
I don't know the street, but I'm aware of.
Yeah. My thing is like, you're breaking up homeless people. I get it, you got to break up the encampment because it's danger, all this sort of stuff. But where like you don't have any sort of plan for them to go somewhere. So that's the so you're breaking them up. Okay, great, but they're just gonna reform elsewhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
California.
Yeah. Cali's. They got some interesting homeless problems.
But that's where you send them, right?
Yeah,
that's why they got the problem.
Oh, well, you know what? That's an interesting. That is an interesting problem that London is facing that I read about the other day. There is reason to believe that other cities are sending their homeless to London.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't trust or believe that.
Well, they're the reason what they're saying is they're doing it because, well, and this has come from people that are homeless and have been elsewhere, because the resources here in London are typically better than, like, to AJ's point, smaller towns and things like that. So the idea is like, well, we'll just get you over there and then you can deal with it, and then they get lost through the cracks and go from there.
Yeah, okay. So I can see that potential trying to do something good and it failing, I guess. Fair.
Oh, I can also see the other side of people just being like, all right, we're going to put a whole bunch of people on this bus and not tell anybody.
Well, no. And again, it's one of those big changes. And I'm not just blaming this on homeless people. This is just people in general, like downtown. And I think we might have already bitched about this. Like, doors are locked on stores. Please knock on door to enter store.
Yep.
Like, it's just one of those.
That reminds me of China.
And I always question that, like, why? And maybe it's because they don't have enough, or they just don't have them police. You don't generally see beat cops anymore. So, and I'm not saying cops beating people, but
we know what you're talking about.
Cops.
Yeah.
Those like going up and down like Dundas and like kicking people out of doorways and stuff like that. And hey.
So I haven't seen them kicking out of doorways, but every day I actually see beat cops walking around downtown. I will give that credit. So I see.
But then I guess, they're looking for like actual crimes, but loitering technically is that not a bylaw?
So I think, and I truly don't know, so this is just Dave guessing in his magical world and brain, which is, I don't think the cops, do anything other than just be there to remind everybody, we're watching you.
Yeah.
And there's a set of other groups. They always have the green jackets, and they actually engage with people they find on the streets. They don't kick people out or anything, but they actually chat. I think they do a check-in. I don't know.
Are they like mental health practitioners or something?
No idea. They're just in green. There's always 2 of them.
And I'm strictly talking about businesses and stuff. Right?
Sure.
Like
businesses
going to the bathroom in the business doorways and just huddling there, doing your drugs and stuff like that. That's not cool, man.
No. Now I will give
go hang out, not where people are trying to make a life for themselves.
Now, I have seen people in doorways of running businesses. I will freely admit that, but I do see a lot more take over the closed ones. I'm not saying that absolves, but at least they're not impacting a true business. It's like that one thing, like walking in to do the podcast today. When do stores close downtown? If you're not a bar, of course.
Like 6 now.
Yeah. Even earlier.
Oh,
so there's a few closing at 4 nowadays.
What?
Shit. Yeah. Yeah, because
crazy.
Again, it's
used to be 7, 8.
Well, that's what I mean. Who comes downtown to purchase things nowadays?
There's
very rare.
2 comic shops that go to. That's about it.
That's probably, I would say, the only
looks
reason.
Like it's closed.
Heroes?
The one that's further down Dundas, closer to where we are right now.
Oh, that Worlds Away.
Worlds Away.
It looked closed.
They might be. I don't know. I've been there.
And again, I didn't get a good chance to look at them, but every single poster in the windows was totally sunburned out. Like nothing
I think that's
had changed.
Just the way it is.
They might just be lazy.
And it could be that, honestly, because it was closed when I was going by, and I didn't look at the hours. But yeah, it was one of those just.
Well, Heroes had their windows smashed in.
The only reason I go downtown is really to go to work.
Me as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Walk my dog.
There's nothing I ever really need.
I work down there.
No.
Other than like Chris is saying.
Yeah. No. There's anything you can do.
Comic book stores and the record shop.
Yeah.
About
it.
Right.
Yep. No, again, it's just one of those. I'm really curious how that's all gonna. Yeah. What is the future of downtown London?
I don't know. See, I treat London like it's each pocket is like kind of like its own community.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, because I lived the same area you lived up there on Trossachs, right?
Yep.
And you've got your Sobeys, your gas stations, the malls.
I miss the Sobeys.
Yeah,
just a little ways down the road. You got a fucking Home Depot if you want.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Adelaide and Huron area, which has, your not Sobeys, but what used to be Price Chopper, now Freshco.
Yep.
Right? Stuff like that. Jumbo
shop there too,
Jumbo Video.
Yeah.
The United United
I
Market.
love shopping there so much.
I love that place.
Yeah, it's the best.
We got some cool shit. Anyway, they smell like fish though. But
it was better as a bowling alley, but my opinion.
Yeah, it was a great bowling alley.
And then you notice whenever they make a new kind of development sort of thing, that's what they do. It's like you don't have to go downtown anymore to do anything.
No, yeah, you don't.
Right?
Yeah, even the mall down here, Galleria. My entire life, it's always been a dead mall, even when I was younger.
Oh,
yeah. Even when it was a good mall, it was still a dead mall.
Really?
Like I have no recollection of it ever being super busy, crazy inside.
Can't think of a time
ever.
No.
Like I do remember the Bay being there, and I do remember that. Yes, you go back the 30 years, there was more downtown. It was everybody coming downtown. Right?
Yeah, it was a place to be.
Would Masonville and White Oaks have been a contributing factor to? Because I didn't grow up here, so I didn't know.
It's hard to say because
I know Dead Mall as like Westmount.
Yeah,
Westmount's a dead mall.
White Oaks. I feel like White Oaks has been around since I've been alive. So
White Oaks and Masonville.
Yeah, I know Masonville. We saw their transformation. Yeah, in our time, but they obviously pulled away a lot from downtown. But it wasn't like, downtown asked for it. Like Dave's saying, like. Galleria or what I don't know fucking called now, London Place. I don't
something of this
something
nature.
City Plaza,
whatever.
Yeah.
It just I don't know. They tried hard when they first started, and I remember as a kid they had an arcade that was cool. They had some cool stores, a fun little food court area. But then pretty much fucking right after that, stores start closing. Yeah. Yep. Then they're bringing in new things and they're revamping it.
Yeah, they're revamping, moving.
Now it's all like I walked through there long ago because I had to go to the Parks and Rec office to get some posters or some shit for Nikki Beavers.
Yep.
And it's all stuff like that or call centers.
Yep.
Pretty sure that's where the CAA call center is.
The big things in there now, CAA's got a call center.
Food court is still jamming.
No,
food
it's
court.
not jamming.
I walked through there.
I don't know. Call it jamming.
I don't know, man. This smelled like they had some pretty good Chinese food there in the food court.
The Subway and the Chinese place are the only two left.
Oh wow, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah, right,
And what about the
'cause
sushi guy? Is he still there?
Gone.
The Taco Del
fuck,
Mar,
he
or
makes
whatever
the
the fuck it was, is gone.
best
Taco's
sushi
gone.
downtown.
The Arby's gone.
Yeah.
The
There you
sushi
go.
gone.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Arby's.
Not enough to keep it in the mall. That's
Every
for
so
sure.
often,
Oh.
I would bite. I have
Yeah,
to admit.
Masonville.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. There,
Masonville still has
that's
an
right.
Arby's.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
have to admit, every so often I bite.
can't, man. I can't do the Arby's. That, when they put the cheese sauce on that, it's like fucking orange salt.
I don't know what
Yeah.
it
It's
is.
just orange salt goo.
I get into the mood where I want orange salt goo.
That should be a bylaw. No orange salt goo on sandwiches in London.
I got a weird bylaw. It's kind of off topic of downtown, but not really.
But it's back on the
But not
topic of the
really. Back
episode.
bylaws, yeah. And I don't know if this exists in other cities in Canada, or bigger cities, I should say. We have a no tow bylaw in London. So yeah, like you can. Don't get me wrong, you can tow, but you have to get like authorization for it. Yada yada yada. There's no tow zones in London. I know you're looking at me crazy.
No. I think
There
you
are-
can't
there-
tow from a city street.
I was going to say, if it's,
Yeah,
if
it's
it's private,
private, you can
property,
tow.
you probably can.
Nope.
Because I've
So I
then-
could
so then people
push
have
back on
those-
this.
People have those signs saying if you park here, you're towed at owner's
They
expense.
can. It's just it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to do it. They just can't just call a tow truck and have it done.
Well, then that's
The reason why I know this
pointless to
is
have that
because
sign.
I used to work for a parking company, and there was tons of cars that were left there for months, years on end. It was always a hassle to get a tow truck to come and take one out.
But if somebody parks in my driveway for like 2 days, can I get them towed?
I
Because
mean,
that's private property.
yeah, you can, but again, you have to go through those motions to do that. It's not like
Really?
just a quick, yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
To be honest, I would just call a tow company and say, I need my car towed, please.
Yeah. It's just like,
Can you take it to the dealer down
They
the
don't-
street?
They don't,
I got
they don't
CA.
generally ask for ownership or anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I need
Yeah.
it. Can you please take my car down the street there? Yeah. I'll be there in a minute. I'll pay you.
Yeah.
I guess they know where you live, though. Fuck, can't really play that game.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's still in existence. I haven't heard of it changing, and it's been like that for a long
I
time.
honestly thought you have to pay for somebody to come and tow the car. I always thought towing companies actually wanted that business.
Yeah, well, so I mean, I'm not sure how much it has to do with this, but I know of parking companies setting up deals with tow companies to have tows come and take them, and then they have to pay a certain amount. The parking company gets a kickback, and it's kind of like a little scheme.
I want
thing
somebody to
that's
start
happening.
listening to our podcast right now and try and figure out why we keep talking about our toes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. They just jump
That's
right
what I
in.
thought when he first said, we have a no tow?
No
Oh,
tow?
No toes. If you have toes out, we will cut them off so you have no toes.
I know you guys grew up here. I've been living here not that long, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't know on that one, I have to admit.
That's it's just a
Yeah.
weird little.
Yeah, it is a
little
weird
thing.
one. Yeah. Because again, I don't think London actually has anything truly weird per se.
I was trying
know-
to think of some.
I know
The
one
3
thing
to
I
5
wish.
rules pretty standard. I think. I don't think that's.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's
uniquely
standard.
London,
Yeah,
right?
It's not
like the parking thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, the time of year, because again, it's because we want the streets to be able to get
Yeah,
plowed.
Of course.
That's why we have that here. In cities that are way south, don't have that rule because they don't have to plow snow.
Right.
That makes perfect sense to
Yeah.
me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tow and storage operators will have to get permission from you or someone acting on your behalf before towing or storing your vehicle.
Mm-hmm. The whole thing.
Intrigue. Yeah, I
Mhm.
always thought it was just hey.
No. Yeah. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, I have to admit, yeah. I
Yeah.
had no clue.
That was the one thing that would piss off my managers when I worked there. They would get right upset when they had to get a tow going because it's like the whole rigmarole to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shitty deal.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, not my problem. I was getting
Actually, that's
paid.
one thing, and again, it just popped in my head, and I mean this nicely. I always remember whenever I would drive through Detroit to get to the airport of the States because flights are cheaper,
Mhm.
you'd always see so much cars and random things all over the place, like
Yeah.
obviously done with cars. And I can remember when, this is going back 10 years, it's one of those, wow, the States is so very different.
They really are.
But now it's almost that, are we starting to really catch up to them, eh?
I think we are. Like one thing, remember when we went to New York and how perplexed we were with the parking in Brooklyn, right? Because it was all this one side of the street you could park Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And the other side of the street you could park Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever it was.
Oh,
right?
just so they could tow cars that didn't move type idea?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. But also,
Alright.
too, I mean, they're
I was
busy
thinking-
cities, so you got to get people moving.
yeah, thinking about it though, like they probably do snow plowing or something on one side of the street.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure, that plays
that's
a
true.
factor.
And then
But then I don't remember seeing that like in Toronto. And then I think it was like a few years later after that trip, I saw some sort of parking like that in Toronto. I was like, oh, I wonder if there's some sort of
plowing.
Yeah.
The plowing.
All right, I'm done. All right, headphones off. Mike, the plowing in Toronto maybe for the same reason, because actually that's a very valid
Like
argument.
one side of the street on Mondays, Wednesdays,
Yeah.
and Fridays. Other side of the street.
Because you need parking, and the downtown has limited space.
It really would make sense for big cities that you have to do massive.
Well, that's one thing I
plows
still
for.
love about Toronto is you go downtown Toronto and you do see more people than you see cars.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong,
that's true.
the streets are plugged and all that shit because there is cars. I mean that way of where you go downtown London, you see parking lots everywhere.
Yeah, there's parking lots
Yeah.
everywhere, waiting for
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, there are parking lots in Toronto. I know this. But
Sure.
just London always
Yeah.
seems to be more parking lot than anything else nowadays.
It's like
Every time they tear it down, come in another parking lot.
lot. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we lost Smuggler's Alley, and we also lost the Capitol across the street. Two great theaters. What do they turn into?
Parking
lots. Parking lots.
And then there was
Parking lots.
the corner of York and Talbot is a parking lot now.
Yep.
Yep.
Used to be like a laundromat. And I think
Yes.
there was a pizza place in there.
There was
Yeah.
I remember
a
the
karaoke
variety
bar
store.
or
Yes.
some shit in there.
Hell
too.
yeah.
Poker club area, or the poker,
Yeah.
the pool club. I always
Yeah.
remember
Yeah, that's a good spot.
I happened to go into that convenience store to pick up a gum or something. I was just waiting for my bus. And I go in and the clerk is crying. I'm like, what's wrong? She goes, this is our last day.
Oh.
And I purchased gum from the convenience store there.
Oh,
on
you
their
should have
last
just
day.
like stole a bunch of shit. They're not gonna.
Well,
care.
no, when I walked in, I thought they were actually already closed.
Oh,
But she was bawling.
I
And
wonder,
yeah.
I wonder because they're tearing down GTs.
I know. Do you know what they're putting in there?
Parking lot.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. If only it. No, they're
No.
not though. They're doing a
Strip club.
no. It's like they're putting in a building for
Sex shop.
single women and their children.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Actually, that is good.
That's pretty good.
Like a
yeah.
shelter?
Nah, not really shelter. More of like
Give
a
them a
long
space to
term,
come back in.
long-term
a
living.
complex. Give them a complex.
No, they got complex.
Like a yeah.
Yeah.
Like a parking.
Yeah.
Like
one
a
of the-
like
a
an
parking
apartment.
lot. A parking lot for single mothers and their children.
That's right.
Dear
They can just
Lord.
set up. They can just park their cars there all over every night. Yeah. So, no. But yeah, like some sort of apartment complex
Oh.
building thingy.
Cool.
Whatever.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually
I
a good
mean,
one.
I hope it's okay on that corner, but
Well, I mean, I think it's part of what they're doing to, I don't know, try to make downtown London a little bit more gentrified, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if that's
No,
gonna
it's
work.
one of those. Again, it's a challenging to try and clean up any downtown London
Sure.
specifically, because that's what I know the more of. Like, it's one of those. I understand if we could get these people places to stay.
Yeah.
Do they want places to stay? Is that
Right.
first question?
That's the first, yeah.
And then the other thing is, if they don't want it, can we force? Do we want to make that a bylaw where, hey, I don't care that you
can't-
don't want to. I'm going to go lock you in this apartment.
Yeah, we're going to zone this area for a no homeless by.
Well, no, I mean
by
in
zone,
everywhere
so
in
we
London, not just like a no homeless.
I know,
I mean
yeah.
like in everywhere, because it's one of those challenges of, okay, great. So we start to do this path plan. So now we have these buildings, and I mean this nicely, but oftentimes people who are homeless have other challenges in their lives.
Absolutely.
Where are they going to get support for those challenges?
Right.
Or we just put them in a big building and
Yeah.
locking the door behind, and hey, good luck, all y'all. We'll throw food over the fence.
Right. That doesn't
Yeah.
solve anything.
No,
right?
it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's just one of those.
multifaceted.
Even I don't have the answer. In full honesty, for
you
people
don't.
listening, going,
What?
because it's one of those, we could throw tons of cash, tons of effort at this.
Yeah.
And that would seriously, I think, help improve and potentially get some of these people out, get things rolling, get things moving, break them off, drugs, bad habits, all those things I think are possible. Are we all willing as lovely citizens to increase our taxes,
I mean,
double them to support that? Let's just say double. I don't even, yeah.
some, but not
Yeah,
all.
but that's what I mean. Because now the challenge is also, okay, so we double our taxes. Okay, so that could and likely would mean that people that can afford that double start to get the fuck out. Because like, fuck
Right,
that
why would I
bullshit.
stay here?
I'm
Yeah,
going to go move
exactly.
to the city, over, and I'm just going to pick on St. Mary's because it pops in my head. I'm going to move to St. Mary's, but work in London.
Yeah.
So I pay my St. Mary's taxes. And London, well, good luck, London.
Yeah, good luck.
Like, it's one of those, and that's another reason why if we got rid of that, made everything provincial, okay, sure, you can still move out of the province, but generally a bit more challenging than just moving out of the city.
For sure. Yeah.
Anyway, that's my
Did
little.
you know you can't have your grass longer than 8 inches
Yes.
in London?
He would know that. He's a homeowner.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, no, London is very bitchy. That's one of our Londonisms about grass, and not just grass, but what you're allowed to place in the stead of grass.
How can you? How though? If it's your property, how?
It's a London.
Yeah.
So I have to admit, when it comes to things like plants, it's one of those catch-22s. On one hand, I completely agree, but think of it in another way. Somebody never mows their backyard ever.
Right.
Right. So it's going to grow grass, animal, like it's one of those. It is a balance.
But here's the thing. I hear you. But like when I think of that, I think, unfortunately, that's like not my thing. Like that's their thing. That's what they want to do. That's great. My choice is whether or not I stay there, say something or not.
Right. So then the next thing comes out, because there's another rule in London. You may not, even if you own the property, may not park a car on your lawn.
Right. Which again, how can you say that? Like, how can you tell somebody they can't do that?
You make a driveway.
Well,
yeah,
no, you
there's
can
that
change
thing.
your lawn to a driveway. I think that's totally okay because you're not
Sure.
attaching a structure to anything to your
Yeah.
house. But you can't park your car on the grass. I know this because my mom got ticketed.
Wow.
We had a neighbor that really enjoyed us.
So many people. So many people I see parking on their lawns
all the time. Yeah. I just like, again, it's when are you overreaching, I guess? Like, how can you tell somebody they can or cannot do that? I get it, optics wise, maybe it's not the whatever,
To me,
but
yeah. From my perspective, it really comes down into how is it what I'm doing impacting my neighbors.
right.
Parking on my own damn lawn, how's that impacting my neighbor? Well, it's
not.
my property value.
Suck it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Did you? And now I'm just looking up like weird laws.
Okay.
Did you know that it is illegal to pay? You're only allowed by Canadian law to use a maximum of 25 loonies and only 5 coins of 25 cents.
In terms of what?
Oh, when you're paying for something. Yeah.
So if you go in and you try to pay somebody with, say you have like
30 loonies?
25 loonies or 26
They can
loonies,
deny.
they can say
That's
no,
funny.
fuck you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who's
They should
gonna
probably
do
leave
that?
out the fuck you, but yeah.
Who's
No.
going to do that?
They'll say no, fuck you.
For loonies,
then I'll
I
take
can't
my money
imagine.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody doing it.
Yeah.
But that's not a bylaw, technically. That's actually,
No.
I think, a government law.
I
Federal.
read,
What a
I read
weird
this
law.
one earlier.
It's federal.
There's a town in PEI that you're only allowed to have, you can't have a snowman higher than 30 inches
Again, who cares?
on your lawn,
Yeah.
Again,
on
who
your
cares?
property, on your property.
And there's probably a reason for silly things like that.
Sure.
Once upon a time, there was a story. Yeah.
They should, though, but they should be reevaluated, right?
Well, no, and I guess that is one thing. One could argue, hey, if we really think that
And-
should be reevaluated, we should probably put that forward as a question to people that run in our local
And-
elections
Ux-
and push
there
for
you
it.
go. There you go.
Uxbridge, Ontario has a law that forbids having Wi-Fi connection faster than 56K.
Faster than?
Yep.
You're not allowed to have one
You
faster
can't
than.
have one faster than 56K.
Fuck, I'm never moving to Uxbridge.
I have a suspicion that's not actually enforced.
I'm guessing they've probably not reviewed that law in a while.
Probably not. Probably
no,
not.
or
There was another one that
or-
saw you can't whistle.
actually, there is the argument back against us, actually, and I mean this nicely, because again, it's one of those peopleisms
Mm.
where they actually truly do have that law, and they put it in recently because they're of that similar, they have that similar challenge and concern that having that sort of Wi-Fi, the what do you call them? Air generator
yeah.
thingies for power.
Yeah. No.
Power. What the fuck? It just popped in
Power
my head.
tools.
You know what I'm saying, too. Even you're
now
stuck
borrowing
on it.
your friggin' silly energy.
Fuck. Anyway,
Damn it.
those spinny things that make power from the wind.
turbines.
There we
Oh
go.
my God.
Wind turbines.
Wind turbines. Yes.
People often fight those because they're concerned about the impact that they potentially have.
Sure.
So maybe the city actually has recently passed this law.
Maybe. Wow.
I can't
56K.
imagine why.
God.
But I would like to highlight one thing. Likely that law can only apply to phone lines. It couldn't apply to anything else.
Right. Cellular towers or anything else.
Well,
yeah.
cell plus cable, because those are not anything to do with 56K. That's
Right.
just
Yeah, that
phone
goes
lines.
into like gigabits and
Yeah, you can't-
nonsense.
That's true.
Yeah.
56 kb. That's
That would be
hilarious.
awesome.
That's
That'd
funny.
be amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But yeah,
Humorous.
here in London, it's like here in London, this is going back 10 years-ish, if not more, there was a little bit of a push to allow certain types of farm animals in the city, in
Right.
the backyard.
Yeah.
Chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chickens.
Yeah. So I have to admit, I was totally on board for this.
Yeah,
I would
Nikki
love
wanted
it.
chickens.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wanted
hell
chickens
yeah.
too. I was like, fuck yeah, I could raise a couple chickens in the back.
Sure.
This could be a great thing to go along with my garden.
Simple coop, easy to do.
Got shot down.
Yeah, well,
Now,
Yeah.
I will freely admit, though, as much as I wanted this, I also understand why I got shot down.
I can tell you. So I was in New Orleans with my wife,
Right.
and apparently they have. You can fucking raise
Yeah.
your whatever. We're going to Church's Chicken, ironically, and there are 6 or 7 chickens, live chickens, all just hanging out outside, and they're tormenting a cat with a piece of chicken. No, the cat tormenting. It was a really fucked up situation. But the fact is, these there was a rooster and all
So
these
there
hens.
was a gang of chickens fucking with a cat.
Yeah,
basically,
that's
is
pretty
what
much
you're
what was
saying.
going on.
There was a gang of
Gang of
chickens,
chickens.
in New Orleans.
Yeah,
Fucking with a cat.
harassing a cat.
harassing a cat.
And
It
you
was
just walked into the store and left them alone.
Just let no.
All right. Well,
I
we
just
know
grabbed
your
one and took my
perspective.
home. No.
You were like, "Hey, chickens, stop harassing that cat."
Hey, chickens, what are you doing? You guys.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But what
it was
I
pretty
found
nuts.
funny is I understand that perspective. I truly do.
Yeah.
But here in London, Ontario, and I'll call that one specifically, geese.
Yes.
Like, come
Cobra
on.
chicken.
fucking get rid of
We're
them.
used to this.
We need to make. Yeah, you're right. There's so many fucking geese here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, downtown especially.
Oh, trust me, I know. I work at the museum, dude. That's where they congregate.
That's
Yep.
where they hang out.
Yep.
Yeah.
They fucking
They love
in
it
the
there.
in the springtime. They congregate in the front where all the people come in because there's a nest on top of one of the little buildings out front.
Yeah.
And I mean, legally, you can't do anything. You're not
Correct.
allowed to move it or anything like that.
Right.
So yeah, and in the springtime, they'll try to protect the nest. So they'll like try and karate kick you in the face. They'll literally like flutter up and like try
Yes.
to kick you in the face.
Oh, yeah, they'll
Yeah,
go
they
at
don't
you.
fuck around,
I've
man.
seen my buddy Chuck have to like fist fight
Oh my
a fucking
God.
cobra chicken.
Oh my
We were
God.
going for lunch one day, and one flew up and like tried to kick him in the face, and he was like, "Wah!" I was like, "No, cobra chicken."
Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a
One will like knock some lady over. Or
Oh, yeah,
something,
yeah. They
and,
will
like,
come after you.
Yeah,
It's like swans in Stratford.
yeah.
Because in Stratford,
yeah.
you do
Swans
not.
are assholes,
And
man.
they are
Sure
assholes.
are
As a
assholes.
kid, I got
We think
attacked by
fucking
one.
Geeses are fucking assholes.
Yeah,
Fucking
swans are worse.
are fucking.
Do
way
you
better.
think
Yeah.
that we'll get to a situation because like fucking geese and birds are protected and shit that we'll get so many that we'll have ourselves like a kangaroo infestation
No.
problem like they do in
Probably.
Australia?
If that were to happen, then they'd tell you could fucking
seize
you could
them?
fuck shit
You
up.
just see you just see people fucking walking the streets with open arm firearms and
holding some geeses by the necks.
Yeah.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
and that's one thing I do have to admit. Like, don't get me wrong, I have experienced what you described, but I also love, like, I'll go just walk through the park and they all just, they're doing their thing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing my walk.
Yeah, yeah.
We ignore one another.
Yeah,
It's
no.
fine.
You go through
Yeah.
Vic Park and they fucking like come right up and they're like, "Yo, what's up?"
They know where the food's at.
Same with the squirrels
They know
is.
the
They're just
food's
like, "Yo, what's up?"
Oh,
That should be a bylaw. You can't feed the
There-
geeses and squirrels is.
I feel like we need to do something about the squirrel population control in this city. It is
Dude, you are
holy
not kidding.
shit.
yeah.
I'm
Sorry.
actually glad that we chopped down our fucking walnut tree this year. Much less fucking tree rats.
They're
Yeah.
annoying. What were you gonna say?
No, one thing I always love about squirrels in London, because we described earlier about how the different regions of London are different. Squirrels are the same.
Yeah.
Downtown squirrels, they'll come right up and, hey,
Yeah.
where's my fucking
They
food?
fucking
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
man.
pretty
They'll
much.
attack you for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Go to my end with squirrels. No, they run away.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Oh, yeah.
hurt me.
Yeah.
yeah. It's so true. Yeah.
But there's enough in both of them. I
Oh my
will admit that.
gosh,
Yeah,
there's so much. So
Oh, they
much.
know. They fucking teach their kids that if you stay in this park, you'll get food.
Oh yeah, and they
It's
do.
free food in
Yeah,
this
Yeah.
park.
and they do.
Hey, there's a bylaw. Does it? Well, I don't know if it's a provincial or if it's
Throw it
municipal.
out there.
The open container bylaw. Are you allowed to have open alcohol in the parks in London? I know you can in Toronto.
Yes.
Parks?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
only in the fenced areas now. So it used to be never, no.
Right.
Now they've opened up. I believe those are bylaws, and now they've opened up a little bit where it has to just be in the fenced single entry type things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you and I wanted, let's say the three of us all wanted to go to Vic Park and crack a beer, take
No.
off,
That would get us in trouble.
we can't do that.
No. That would get
Yeah,
us in
there's
trouble.
no designated
Yeah.
See, that's silly.
area.
That's silly. But all right, that's cool.
Well, the only place I know where you can literally just walk around with a beverage is like Montreal.
In Canada,
in Canada. And now there may be other places, but Montreal is the only place in
Yeah,
Canada.
there's definitely other places.
Vegas, of course, in the
Vegas,
States, but
for sure.
Vegas, you can fucking do whatever you want as long as you're playing
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
That's right. Smoke weed.
Yeah.
Do coke.
Because I still remember that.
Just play the games.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Only
Yeah, I'm not
Montreal's the
sure.
only one I know of in Canada.
There's definitely more than just Montreal. I'm just can't think of where right now.
Yeah.
Can't think of where.
We also remember, especially in Ontario, but I think a good chunk of Canada, we've always had pretty stringent alcohol rules. It's only in our lifetime things
I
are
know.
really starting to loosen
It's-
even more.
All those bylaws can go fuck themselves.
Well, and I think a lot of those are provincial, so we can't even
I
blame
know
the
that.
cities.
I know.
But
Yeah, no, it is provincial. I know.
yeah,
But
LCBO,
yeah, exactly.
Liquor Control Board of Ontario.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's annoying as all hell.
Yeah,
Especially
but
when
it's
you go
opening.
somewhere else.
It's
Yeah,
opening. Like
better.
it is better. Like
It's better.
just actually, it's one of those sillyisms. I went to the market on the weekend because I wanted to get the pizzas and meat
No,
pies
you
and all
didn't.
that.
I didn't see you there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We forgot about that part. I'm telling the better part of the story. I mean,
That's right,
yeah,
that's
that
right.
was no, yeah, we bumped into each other. That's right.
Nice.
But when I went there upstairs, I went and I bought a nice bottle of rye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they have the because the brew if you're
Yeah.
buying directly from the distillery or the brewery,
Yes,
Where is this at? Sorry.
Western Fair Market.
Western Fair Market.
Oh, cool.
So
on,
I
on
actually,
the second floor.
yeah, I actually wanted to get the beers, but they weren't open.
Right.
And then
Oh,
so
for
I went-
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I walked over and they had the whiskey, and she's telling me all the flavors. I'm like, by the way, you don't have to sell me anything. I would like the pure Canadian 40, please.
Yeah, that's great. And I do like the fact that we do have breweries where you can, purchase from, like if you go to Toboggan or whatever.
Yeah.
I
well,
do like
even
those.
Yeah.
downtown here, like you can go now, and they're not even the brewery, but you can just go downtown and get beers and take
Where?
them home.
Well, at the beer store.
No,
or
no,
at the
no.
LCBO.
It's right beside the bar that has like the hundreds of beers.
Oh, beside Milos.
Beside Milos, there's
yeah,
a
yeah,
new
no, talking
place, newish to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, right beside Milos, and you can just buy beers and happily take them home.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's
Nice.
not a LCBO, it's not a beer store, it's their own thing.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
But to be honest, it's also like a grocery store. Like
Right.
not all
Well,
grocery
then it
stores.
would be
but
like one of those like the wine rack.
Wine
or
Rack is
something.
another one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wine
Right
Rack
there.
in my mind's been, don't get me wrong, not around forever, but around more recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I still remember when he started being able to buy beer in the supermarket.
oh
and
my
just,
gosh.
I still remember just going in and just sitting there going, it's a perfect world.
It'll
Of
be
course.
perfect when I go to a convenience store and buy a beer. That'll be fucking great.
That
That'll be
I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
That's one of those isms when I was out in New Brunswick. I still remember asking the guy that lives in New Brunswick and
Yeah.
was driving us around. I'm like, where can I fucking just buy a beer to take back to the room to
Yeah.
enjoy? He goes, just go to the convenience store that's right beside you.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
When that happens, I think you should be able to buy at least a pack of joints.
Well, then that's the other thing too.
Like not like a bag of weed
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like a thing
Yeah.
of shatter or
Just
any of that.
Yeah, just a
Just
pack of joints.
like a pack of joints.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can do that now though, legally. You can go grab 3, 5, 6 packs.
Not at the convenience store.
Not in
No,
convenience
not the
stores.
convenience store.
Yeah, you're
So
Although
when they start to allow alcohol in
Sure.
the convenience stores, they should allow at least
well,
joints.
that's a weird one too because cannabis you can only get it from OCS approved stores, right? You can't get it
Legally.
from legally.
But there is
we know all the places you can get it that you're
but
not
there's,
supposed to get
there's
it.
licensing that goes involved to these wine rack places or these,
Yeah, no,
these private
yeah,
places.
no,
They're
I-
still governed by
Yes.
the LCBO
I'm on
to
your
a
point.
degree.
Is what I'm saying. I'm on your point. Is to say, okay, so they have that as a way to purchase it, but if you want to buy tobacco products, you can't buy them from like any sort of tobacco store per se. I mean, I know we have them,
Cigar
but-
stores, but
Sure,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, yeah, you can.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You typically, like they're sold at convenience stores, beer for whatever reason, and cannabis is not. Right.
Well, it depends. Now it depends on
history.
It depends on what you're selling in the store. I think in grocery stores, if they sell, I think it was lottery. At one point, anyway, if they sold lottery, you can get smokes.
That's interesting, and
Really?
that's
don't-
really interesting.
Yeah,
It was
I'm not
something
aware of that.
else. It was if they sold
I
something.
wouldn't doubt it. They're tied
If
together.
there was a pharmacy,
That is true. I'm going to say
if there's
pharmacy,
a pharmacy,
correct.
you can't get smokes.
Correct. That is the rule. That one I'm aware
So
of.
like
Why?
the Metro on Clark Road and Trafalgar,
Yeah,
I think you can still get smokes at customer service there.
because they don't have
a pharmacy.
And that's why you see the superstores and such put their stuff on the outside of the main area, because they don't want to compete with the pharmacy, or they don't want to.
That's where like the wine rack and stuff is. Yeah.
But again, to your point, why is it? I know it's all contracts and shit, but we're at the point where you can buy alcohol in a grocery store. Okay, great, but you still can't buy cannabis at a grocery store.
Right.
So
that's not fair.
It's an interesting thing. It'll change eventually.
Eventually.
Like I said, it doesn't have to be like, you can go buy an eighth or something like that, or a quarter. Like you can buy a pack of joints.
Joints, exactly.
It's like if you want to go buy vodka, you still have to, unless you're going to the producer, you still have to go to the LCBO.
Hard liquor,
true.
you have to go to the LCBO.
That's true. Unless you go to the distillery of whoever.
Wine and beer is the
looser one,
which is so ridiculous. It's all fucking alcohol, but whatever.
I guess it's the point of you don't need as much of one to get drunk.
I think in part it may be safety-ish stuff. I truly don't know.
I think it's all bullshit. I think it's all just money. It's money.
Oh, money's part of it.
Money to the table, and then
I'm sure beer stores, because again, they fought the whole thing about opening up and allowing the retail spaces. Because again, beer stores were probably the hardest hit by it.
Sure. Yeah. Rightfully so.
Because you figure beer stores
for like a monopoly
forever. Yes.
Were the monopoly. They're a monopoly. Break that shit up, man.
Yeah. Like I have the memory
of.
Oh yeah.
I have that memory of and again, the beer stores are trying to fix themselves. And to be honest, when you go to a beer store now, very good selection, pricing,
lots
everything,
of
all
fun
the good
craft
stuff.
Beers.
Exactly. It's all very good. Yeah. But I still, and again, I would have been like 6, 7, going with my mother to the beer store, and you go look at the board and you say, yes, I would like a 2-4 of blue.
And then roll it out the thing.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. And that's all you would get. Like you just have the little board. That's it. I just remember it being a little fucking board.
Right.
So we used to always go to the liquor store to get beer. Because we always didn't want just blue.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? This like
you didn't want export.
You could only get certain beers at the liquor store, which is still kind of the case.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the craft beers are sold at the liquor store.
In
you
the
can
beer
get
store.
certain craft beers at the beer store.
You're right.
If you want a larger selection,
he's right.
You go to the liquor store.
It depends on the beer store, because I actually would disagree. At least in my area, the
If
one that's
it's a
maybe you're in your area.
Is it a walk-in cooler beer store?
Yes.
Then I think.
Yeah, because they have a nice. Don't get me wrong.
The beer store like next door here, you can get certain craft beers, but you can't get all the craft beers because they're the ones going into the back and rolling out the cases.
Sorry,
Right.
So that's an example of an older style. And it's also the region.
So if it's like a beer cooler beer store, like where the whole thing is a beer cooler, and you just walk in, pick up your case, and take it to
Well,
then I think they have a few different, few more of the craft.
Oh yeah, they do.
But I even think the liquor stores have more.
I wouldn't say more. I just think they have.
Say they have more options.
I disagree. But okay, you can be
wrong.
Gotta
do this test.
We might have to.
Yeah. We'll have to go to.
For sure.
We'll go walk into one, walk in another, walk in one, walk in the other. Just keep walking in and out of them without buying anything, and see how long before we get yelled
with
at.
a notebook.
Yeah, just start writing.
Sure.
Take pictures.
A real Mythbusters episode, Canadian style.
And just for fun, just put on like some sort of badge. Don't put anything like do not try to impersonate a police officer or anything governmental, but just have a badge on that has your name.
Right.
Sorry, quick side topic. I've been marathoning My Name Is Earl because it's just great.
Okay, yeah.
And I just watched the one episode where they get the cop badge.
Nice.
And everyone's like,
oh yeah, I love that one.
Fun.
I really wish they had finished that.
I know. Well, you know what? I'm hoping if by watching it, maybe
that is definitely to side note the side note of the side note that we side noted. Yeah, that was probably one show that definitely, shows end and it's like, it's a bummer. There's no more episodes, but there's no more episodes, and you didn't finish the story.
Yeah, and again, you could have just 2-3 episodes, people.
You could have wrapped it up in like a mini movie kind of thing. Yeah.
And it was one of those great shows that my kids loved watching with us. Like, it was just in my heart.
Well, I mean, we're white trash, so it's very close to our heart, you know? Like, it's very much.
What? Is that you're saying?
I guess I always wanted to see how the other half lived. That's what my.
That's right, because you're that's right. From your ivory tower? Yeah, absolutely.
Pedestal.
Oh, sorry.
Ivory tower's a little higher than that. Come on.
Yeah.
Middle class.
Yeah. But actually, watching it make me think of a lot of, just weird little laws, because that show's kind of set up that way.
Oh, they're played a little bit that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Small town community, all that sort of stuff. So,
Want to know another weird law?
No.
but you're gonna hear it
Okay.
Oh, sweet.
in Kanata, not Canada,
Right.
but the town of Kanata.
Yeah, those guys are
Canada.
those guys are posers.
They don't know how to spell Canada.
That's
right.
right.
You can't
They're knockoff Canada. Sorry.
You can't paint your doors purple.
Fuck you. I will paint
Apparently,
whatever.
it's
What?
against the rules to paint your door purple.
Why?
It doesn't say why.
See, that's the thing. I'm all for weird laws, but I think you have to put a reasoning in there.
Yeah, it's hard
You
to
can't
find.
just be like, oh yeah, you can't,
Like, you can't-
have
you-
sex on your roof.
You
But
can't-
why?
You can't climb trees in Oshawa.
See, again, well, like why? What's the purpose?
So
Vandalism?
you don't fall out of them and cause the healthcare system more money.
Is that the same reason why you can't have snowball fights in school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing about that, because that also brings in that extension, I actually am okay with schools having certain rules of that that perspective, because then the challenge always comes in, and this is again is us in our new day and age. I throw a snowball at you, and there accidentally, not on purpose, was a rock inside, and it broke on your eye and cut your eyeball, and now you're blind.
Sure.
You shouldn't have thrown the snowball.
gonna sue you.
Well, that's just it. You're going to
Shouldn't have thrown
sue
the
me,
snowball.
but I'm a child, so no,
Right.
you
No,
can't actually sue me.
School for letting it happen.
There you go.
Right.
You're going to school the provincial or the school board because of what has occurred, and now
And now you can't just say, yeah, they're kids. This stuff happens with kids.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Here's an interesting one. Thanks to an obscure law in the Canadian Criminal Code dating back to the 1940s, it is illegal to possess, print, publish, or sell a comic book that depicts any criminal act. As a criminal lawyer tells Global News, the letter of the law is drafted sufficiently broadly so that virtually any superhero comic book that we're familiar with today would
be
violate the
illegal.
letter
Yeah.
of the law.
Yeah, like all of them are illegal. You
Yeah.
can 100 bullets.
It would never hold up in court.
Never hold up. No way.
It's
No,
one of those
there's-
ones
it's-
that we
it's-
joke.
Because I mean, there's incredibly stupid like I remember when the internet was first a thing, and you'd
Sure.
go on there and you'd find like silly jokes, or you'd print them off, or
Mhm.
you'd have like
Take you 20 minutes.
you'd have the 20 pages of Yo Mama jokes
Sure.
or whatever. But yeah, I remember printing off like a weird laws list once, and there's some places in the States, I think it's in Florida, like it's illegal to whistle underwater
Yeah.
or eat an orange under a tree
Yeah.
on a Wednesday after 5
You're not allowed-
with your pants on.
You're not allowed to have
Like,
a camel on your front lawn on Sundays and stuff.
just
Yeah.
stupid shit,
Ridiculous
right?
shit, yeah.
But they're so old and obscure and outdated that they still haven't been taken off the books.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if you had a really good lawyer, somebody getting fucked.
Like blah, blah, blah.
Like blah blah blah. If you had Bob blah blah, you're getting screwed for whistling underwater.
That's right. For sure. For sure. You're fine. He's tried.
Now I want to actually just try whistling underwater.
I know.
I don't think I've ever actually tried
Like,
this.
well, I just want to know how
Sounds
many
like-
times, yeah, how many times does like that have to happen for them to be like, okay, we got to put a law in now. We got to get enough people together to write this shit out, pass legislation, all that sort of nonsense.
Well, again, I think
how much weed were they smoking when
Yeah.
they were
Not
on law
enough, I
books?
think.
so. I'm not absolving this type of law, but again, one thing at least my understanding with city law, it is a little simpler in
Right.
how you actually write it.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like you have to go through this and then we have to review and review and review, much like our provincial and federal.
Right.
Instead, I think it's just, hey, you're in the city council. Everybody agree? Hands up, yes.
Yeah.
Hands down, no.
Nope.
All
Okay.
right, it
Well, and
did or
at
didn't.
one point in time, maybe there was no council. It was like 2 dudes,
Yeah.
3 dudes in a room.
sheriff and his
if
deputy.
If 2 of them said yeah,
Well, older school, yeah. I do think.
yeah,
for-
I'm talking
yeah.
like that one was from like
Yeah.
the 1940s or something.
Well, I think
yeah,
even
right?
1940s there were councils. I think.
in small towns though.
Well, I think small towns are different.
Right.
But I honestly don't know
So,
how they're different. Even
you
today.
you think like in the maybe not the 1940s, but even earlier than that, London was once a small town.
Yeah.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what it probably is for smaller towns is they probably go by region, Middlesex region, that sort of idea.
Counties and shit.
Counties, yeah.
Yeah, I think counties, like you have your county sheriff.
Yeah. Well,
Like
yeah.
There's county sheriff, city sheriff.
That's what I mean is that, yeah,
Town-
OPP
town
in general,
sheriff.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
OPP in general.
for in Ontario here. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But sheriffs are different.
RCMP everywhere else.
There's sheriffs are different than the law, like than the police. Like if you're getting evicted from your house or from an apartment
It'll
or
be a
something like
sheriff,
that, it's not the cops that come and do it. The sheriff the city sheriff comes and changes the locks and kicks you
Oh,
out.
gotcha.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
comes,
so there's an actual sheriff.
Nice.
yeah, he comes and plays a game of Uno with you, and then says, "Sorry, sir,
Mhm.
gotta go now.
Yeah.
And help you out.
If you can beat him in poker, you're good.
you're good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it works.
But that is one of those other, and I don't know if it's just London, but I only am aware of London,
Yeah.
where I keep hearing stories about like people, unable to get renters out who haven't paid in like
Yeah.
8 months.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hear that all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. If it's 1 month, calm an ass down, give this person a
Sure.
chance. If it's 8
I'd even
months,
say 2 months, especially now. You know what? 2 months,
me,
okay, sure.
in
But
my
then after
head-
that, it's like, wait a second.
yeah, in my head, my understanding and memory of the law was 90 days, which
Yep.
to me seemed okay. Like, again, if this person's truly trying and they're trying to give you money, try to cut slack within the realm that you can support. Like,
Right.
everybody is human. And again, if I need that income in order to support my family, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's somebody that's giving you $0, yeah, 90 days, it should be totally legal.
Say,
and again,
gotta
you
go.
do you must leave. Here's the thing, blah, blah, blah.
Well, after 14 days, you can file with the landlord-tenant board saying that
Really, that
Just-
quick,
yep.
eh?
after
Oh,
14
wow.
days,
I would have wanted at
you
least
can
30.
give them something saying if you don't pay by this date, you're.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah, see, I guess it's one of
Oh,
those.
trust me, I've gotten them before.
I shouldn't laugh. But I mean, it's one of those things in my head. I agree with the style. I would just more prefer to be 30 days. Like,
Yeah.
you've missed one, and we're now getting to the second, and you're still unable to catch up. Sorry, we're done.
Yeah.
That to me makes perfect sense. 14 days, that seems a bit rushy.
This is a bit, yeah.
They give 60 days under a lease,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know if that changes if rent hasn't been paid.
Yeah, I have no idea
Right,
either. in all
Right, because I
honesty.
know if it's like somebody who's constantly paying rent and stuff like that, and say you have a one way to break a lease legally is to have family move in.
Not anymore.
Oh no,
I think that's changed. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
that was, you're absolutely right. I think that's changed in like last, I want to say 2 years. Maybe
oh
3
really?
years.
Okay,
Yeah,
well
yeah.
then yeah. Then
But yeah, I know the point you're talking
you
about.
get my point though, right? Like so
Happened to me.
So yeah, but you had 60 days.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You
It has 60 days.
legally you still have 60.
I think my
days.
landlord at the time when it happened to me was nice and gave me an extra month, but you're right, 60 days was.
I think that's
we
the
had.
traditional.
legal,
Absolutely.
Yeah, the legal.
Or
like,
if you just
so we
purchase
have-
the property, 60 days.
so we have
Oh, yeah.
in our lease for our tenant, we have a clause saying like if you just give us 60 days, then whatever.
See ya.
You can. It's a lease, but you could break it easier than going through.
Oh, I got
Sure,
you.
Jumping
yeah,
through
yeah.
hoops and yada yada yada.
And
If
to
you
me, yeah,
if you want to leave, 60 days into your, you got to give us 2 months notice to
do it,
to
but
figure
do
shit
it.
out.
Yeah,
yeah.
But whatever. If you got to
Yeah.
fuck off. I don't care.
I'm much of that same boat and for two reasons. One, because come on, we're all human. 60 days is that
Yeah.
nice, reasonable. I'm trying to scratch your back. Yes, I still need you to be here and pay for those 60 days to scratch mine. But then also along with that, hopefully that keeps them happy, so that way they don't go fucking shit the walls and do all the damage.
Well, that's
yeah.
the thing. That's the thing too, right? You accommodate people, and they'll accommodate you or think about you too. Like our last tenant, she'd paid her last month's rent, but she still paid rent,
Right.
Hmm.
and then she was like, "That's cool."
Oh, nice.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
and she left halfway through the month.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she
Let's
was
get
like,
off your back at that point.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Nice.
We're like, yeah, anything we can do for you, man. Like, we'll fucking-
Yeah. I still remember
Thanks for
moving
paying
out
us
of our
on that.
first apartment, and I accidentally pissed off the landlord. 'Cause
Accidentally.
So I can't remember the
Accidentally.
exact date. Let's just pick the 30th. 30th is the day we're moving out.
Sure.
And she comes over the day before. She goes, "What's your plan for tomorrow?" I said, "Okay, well, we're going to start moving and get everything out tomorrow morning. And, I'll drop off the keys early afternoon.
Yeah.
That's my plan." Oh, okay, great. So that's fine. So we start moving things out and we get a bit delayed. I can't remember the exact reason why. I think it was just normal jovial humanism, whatever.
Yeah.
And so she comes over at like 3:00. She's like, "I thought you were going to be gone by now. What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, we're just a bit behind, but we'll be done in the next couple hours."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Well, those people want to move in now."
Oh, fuck
I was like,
off.
Oh,
"Well, you never
really?
fucking said this to me." I was like, "Our plan was to do a full wipe down. We were just trying to get everything
Yeah.
out." Like in my head, like I'm going to get out today, but you don't bring new people until tomorrow.
But that's on them. Like they have to go in
Yeah.
and do stuff to the apartment, all that sort of shit too.
Yeah.
So in all honesty, I said I have no idea the rules back then. I was young
Sure.
too, so I was like, "Oh shit! Like we're almost done, but our plan was to clean it out." And she goes, "No, don't worry about it. Just get your stuff out. You're fine. Don't worry about cleaning or anything." Okay.
All right.
So I truly don't know what happened next after we left, but it was just one of those moments of, "Come on."
Yeah.
yeah.
We need a bylaw for that. There you go. That's a bylaw right
That's a
there.
bylaw. Yeah,
I think the noise bylaw should start later.
Why later?
I don't think people should be allowed to mow their lawns at 7:00 in the morning.
I'm pretty sure the noise bylaw is 24 hours now. Is it not 24 hours?
There's always a time.
I could have
always a time frame.
Let's look that up.
For
Because
which?
I remember reading or hearing or something that the noise bylaw is now any unreasonable amount of noise.
No. So there is a certain amount. If you're, there is, I can't remember, a decibel cap of certain amount.
Okay.
But the noise bylaw in the sense of mowing your lawn, yeah, I believe that's basically starting from about 7, I think. 7
It's
till
like
9.
7 till 9 or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You're allowed to do
I gotta look it up.
Like
Find out.
anything.
noisy, excessive noisy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're basically allowed to do anything within reason.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I think you're more talking about, Chris. I do believe there is some sort of decibel rule.
Okay, if you reach that, it doesn't matter.
Well,
what time
yeah,
it
like
is.
if you've got
Yeah.
if my music is so fucking loud and bassy
Mhm.
that it's shaking your windows next door, you got every right to bitch a bit. Unless you
think
like
so.
my music, but you know.
Uh,
So yeah, to me though, that's perfectly yeah.
It's like our neighbor. He's lucky. He plays good music. Unless he gets really drunk and he starts playing polka. It's dude, you can tell the level of intoxication by what kind of music.
music he has going.
Oh yeah, first, like, for the most part, like for the first 3 hours or something like that, it's like classic rock or
sure.
some decent pop rock type stuff or something like that. Maybe some oldies, some good oldies and stuff like that. And then it goes into the country.
Oh no!
Starts getting to the sad bastard country, and I lost my wife and my dog and my car kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then it goes to polka.
Polka. Well, hey, at least
yeah.
by the time he gets to polka, he's probably done.
Oh, it might go after polka. It might go back to just your regular
Oh, okay.
tunes for a bit, and then he's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Dano. Shout out to DJ Dano.
Gotta
Nice.
listen to that sad music when the blues is flowing, man.
Oh,
I'll tell
yeah.
ya.
Oh, I
You
do
gotta go
that.
through it.
Yeah,
You gotta do it.
It's one of those things, and I love my family, love my wife. It's one of those things that I even mentioned to her, and she was not offended, thankfully. It was like one of those, it's just every so often, I don't know if it's just it's a meism. I'm going to call it as a meism. I love it when I'm just sitting there home alone, quiet, drinking a beverage of choice, and it's just nothing. And I drink.
That's called
nothing.
freedom, my friend.
Drink, maybe that's why I enjoy it. It's one of those things. Like, I love my kids, love my wife, but every so often, it's nice just to go back. Yeah, to your point, it's just because growing up, I hated that. I'm bored at
Sure.
home alone. Like, oh my
my
god, what am
God.
I gonna do? Now I'm bored at home. Oh yes,
It's the best. I know. Especially when you got you put on a good album or something. Fuck.
Oh yeah, or even just
That's
like
it.
quiet.
It's quiet's good, yeah.
Yeah. I'll go and watch the Fireflies too. I'll do that even if she's home though.
There's a lot of fireflies this year, eh? In the
So I've
summertime.
noticed one of those things, and it's probably one of the, just because of our environment, the way shit rolls nowadays. Like when I was a kid, it was rare to see them. But for I think the past 5 years in my backyard, later spring into early summer, I can go out and it's just a beautiful show.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just so you guys know, an FYI, you can't drag your dead horse down Yonge Street on Sundays in Toronto.
Yeah, we knew that already.
Monday to Saturday, you're fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Well,
that,
you need to drag it to get it home.
Speaking of horses, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is no wise tale, or maybe it doesn't exist anymore. Or maybe it does. I don't know. But I remember some sort of weird law, somewhere. I think it's Alberta law, where you go to jail, they give you a horse and a gun, or that's supposed to be the law, or something like that. Have you guys ever heard about this?
No, I think you're making things up.
Yep, I am making some. No,
Yeah, I think you dreamt that.
Yeah, I cannot imagine the police force giving somebody they just arrested a horse and a gun on the way out.
No, there's something. I'm obviously bastardizing it here.
Okay, you just assaulted that poor man, stole his money. You're gonna go spend
You want a
30
horse?
days. You want to spend 30 days in the lockup. You spend the $30. All right, dude, you spent your time. Here's a gun. Here's a horse. Be good.
Be good now. Don't fuck around here.
Be good.
I found a book on Alberta laws.
Oh fuck you. There you go. You know what? You need to order that book and just go through the details.
Go through the.
That is one thing. And again, I don't know how it is municipally, but law books generally are big piles of what the F's.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There.
Like, I've only ever seen them like in the libraries and shit. Like, I've never actually tried to read it. Just one of those. What the fuck is that? Oh, that's a law book. That entire shelf is law. Yeah, those are all law books.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't remember if it was provincial, municipal.
It's those
but-
silly like section 4, paragraph
Yes!
9, subsection B,
B.
appendix 9,
9.
12.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With the pendium, this, that.
Mhm.
Oh, here's some fun laws. Just some quick ones. It is prohibited to challenge someone to a duel and or accept an invitation to a duel. You're not allowed to do that in Canada. And apparently, it is against the law to use dog sleds on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes kind of sense, though. I mean,
Well, it's kind of like
well,
biking on the
yeah.
sidewalk.
Yeah.
If you're a biker, I am one of those people, one of those annoying people. Bikers should be on the street,
Mhm.
should be given proper space, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Follow
Dog sled
rules.
lane, right?
Exactly.
yeah,
Unless
dog sled lane. Exactly.
you're a child or somebody uncomfortable. But if you are either of those, then you follow the same rules as a pedestrian. You don't go blasting down the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
Yeah.
For sure. Hey, it's illegal to pretend to practice witchcraft. So you have to legit do it. If you don't legit do it, you can't pretend.
So if you're not summoning demons, you're a fraud.
Right.
Well,
Gotcha.
fair enough.
Apparently that works.
If you're not flying around on brooms,
then it's okay.
if you're not using household cleaning items as vehicles,
Hold on. There must be a lot of arrests on Halloween. Holy
Right?
shit. Jesus. All the
Cool.
pretty girls. Well, I can't find it. So unless
Yeah.
you pretend it exists, we don't know about it.
So wait a second. It's okay to dress up and pretend to be a police officer on Halloween? That's the only time it's okay to pretend to be a cop?
Apparently, yeah.
So I think my understanding, if
Is
you
yes.
simply dressed up as a cop and were going door to door to get candy, that's totally okay. Or if you dressed
On
up
any
as a
day of
cop
the week,
and went to a
of the year?
party, that's totally okay. And I think any day of the week, truly.
But could the
Okay.
intimidation factor not come in the
Well,
candy
no.
part of it?
But that's more
Like people feel intimidated because now they have to give you candy?
No. Now, if I dressed as a cop, went in on July 22nd, knocked on your door and said, "Give me candy now," I'm a police officer and I'll arrest you if you don't. That makes it illegal.
That's true. It makes sense too because
So
if you're
Halloween
like a
makes it okay.
No,
but if you're like a stripper and you got to dress up like a cop for a job, right? You got to be
That's
able to
okay.
do that's okay.
That's okay.
That's
That's
perfectly
okay.
okay. It's okay.
That's all right. Okay.
no, it's
right.
only if you pretend to be a cop.
right.
Like there's that difference between dressing up like a cop
Right.
and pretending to be a
So
cop.
if you dress up like a cop for Halloween and you say, "You're under arrest, freeze," that's not okay?
Correct.
That would not be
Okay.
okay. Definitely.
Yes.
Just
That's
like if
not
you're
good.
a werewolf and you're like, "Rawr!"
No, that's cultural.
that's
now,
not-
see, now that's cultural appropriation. That's completely different. That's a whole different
That's
ballgame,
true.
dude.
Sorry.
Just like this whole dressing up like Dracula, like
Exactly,
Transylvania culture. Like, no, that's not okay.
it's not cool, man.
That's
That's
not
true.
okay,
You're
man.
right. You shouldn't call them
That
werewolves.
was during my go-to costume when I was a kid, Dracula.
Dracula.
Actually, this year, I have to admit, totally off topic again. A couple of kids showed up to the door, not dressed up at all. It's like, come on.
Give some effort. Put some
I
paint
would've-
on your face or
I would
something.
have given them a toothbrush.
To be
Oh,
honest,
there you
I
go.
gave
I
them one
used
candy.
toothbrush.
I went, picked
Oh,
up the
wow.
one candy, dropped it in the bag.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yes, I love you.
Yeah. I wore my Kill Bill outfit for my dog in the
There should be a bylaw.
There you go. There
You
should be a
have to
bylaw.
dress up for
Yeah.
Halloween if you're
Yeah.
gonna
Could you imagine
if you're gonna
enforcing
knock
that
for
bylaw?
candy. If you're not dressed up and you're trying to knock for candy, I can charge you with harassment.
No. If you're not dressed up, you knock for candy, and my neighbors on either side agree that you are not properly dressed up, we're allowed to throw wet air balloons at you.
Oh, that's fair.
Wet air balloons.
I knew what I meant.
Yeah,
Shut
yeah,
up.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Water balloons.
No.
Wet air balloons.
You know when
You
the
know-
air, you know when the air's wet.
Moist balloons.
You know, wet on the
Not
outside.
quite water.
Not inside.
Not
on the outside.
on
That's
the
So what
outside.
you're saying
We
is
leave
you're-
them,
wait a
we leave
minute.
them outside
To
during a
moisten them
frost.
up, and so that way we properly teach the children lessons without harming them. AJ, yes, they're
Yes,
just
that's right.
They're just moist
Moist
balloons.
balloons.
Kids are like, I'm mildly wet now. Why did you do that? Oh, I'm a little bit
I'm
moist.
damp.
You dampened my clothes.
You've dampened my hoodie. It's going to take
Oh,
5
God.
minutes for that to dry with body heat.
It makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense. I love it. Well,
Fuck.
this is a fucking.
You just can't do that because there's a bylaw against it.
Yeah,
true.
that's right.
I'd say this podcast
No wet
gone,
air balloons.
gone off the rails, but it never started on the rails. So we're fine form, I'd say.
That's not a bylaw. You're not allowed to go on the railway track that they don't like you doing that.
I think that's like a.
That's a provincial, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
No,
provincial.
I think that's like no trespassing private property.
right.
Yeah.
because
Not
the
even-
robot.
That's not even provincial.
That's
like,
the robot law. Remember Ramps, the Ramps robot, he told us not to do that.
Oh,
because
He can play safe.
He can put his arm back on. You
But
can't.
That's right.
can't.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's a robot law is what
Yeah.
that is. That's right.
I honestly thought it was provincial, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I thought it was provincial too, but yeah,
No, it's
right.
federal.
No, it might be municipal because I'm thinking of London and the fucking weird
It's
ass
galactic.
with the weird ass train situation we got here. Sienna, yeah, I don't know.
It's part of the Galactic Federation of
Planets.
Peanuts.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, don't step on railroad tracks, kids, when trains are coming. It's bad news bears.
Yes.
Yeah, especially when trains are coming.
Yes,
Especially
definitely
when
don't do it when a train.
Yeah, if you see a train coming, don't do it.
Just
It's
don't.
just a horrible idea.
There's a
not do it.
bylaw against that.
Look at us. Look at us, guys. We're doing PSAs now. We've come up. We've come up here in the
PSAs after our
podcast.
previous conversation totally makes sense.
And you out there, do you have any weird bylaws that you think are something worth talking about? Did you think of the ones that we brought up were worth talking about? Let us know what you thought of this conversation that we had, and if you're interested, and just keep the conversation going with us. And if you like what we're doing, we got ourselves a little Buy Me a Coffee link in our description. You can throw some money to help us out and all that good stuff. And if you're not feeling well in the mental department, just so you know, you're not alone. You're like the rest of all of us. So you matter not just to us, but to those who are around you. So if you can't talk to anybody about what's going on, we got some links in the description for you to look up the research that you need. But until next time, I've been Harvey.
I'm the Dave.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm AJ.
The bylaw.
That
Well
was
played.
That was the Law and Order song, man.
Yeah, that's why I called you the bylaw.
The by Law and Order,
The bylaw and order.
as opposed to the hetero law.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
That'll
wow.
be the
All
hetero
right.
law.
Yeah, we're done.
It's the bylaw. And it's
It's
just
the
like
bylaw.
that. We're going to get off the air before we get in trouble. Thanks so much for joining us. You got yourself sarcastically distracted. We appreciate you spending your time with us. Have yourselves a wonderful night.
Take care, all.
Bye now.